Woof. Woof. KZ4B testing.
Hello, CQ. Hello, CQ. CQ, the Old Friends Net. It's time for a Sunday edition of the Old Friends Get Together. This is W4MEC, Mike Echo Charlie, your net control for this evening. The Old Friends Net meets 3 times a week. Today, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Today at 6:30. Tuesdays at 9 a.m. and Thursdays at 9 a.m. on this same frequency, 3715. This is an Amplitude Modulation net. Anybody's welcome to join as long as their radio is capable of generating a AM signal. And this is also carried out in the old-fashioned roundtable mode. We'll take check-ins and get everybody seated and go around from there. About an hour, and then we'll say 73s and wait for Tuesday. So for those wishing to participate, please give W4MEC a call and come out.
Afternoon, Charlie. WA4LLR.
W4KR.
FJQ.
W4 Alpha United Victor.
KG4IUQ.
KZ4 Bravo.
WB4ARK.
WB4NKL.
K1VVC.
November 4 Alpha Kilo.
WM4 PFI.
N4LQ.
J4EVK.
WF2U. K4 VWD.
Okay, my pen was smoking. I was writing so fast, and I missed one fella, and I had a couple doubles. And I missed a prefix on one fella, and I'm looking back through my records here to see if I can figure out who he is, but I can't. So let me tell you what I got so far. Apparently, Dave is in the basement because he blew the doors off. WA4LLR first, W4KR. Stan, Tom, WA4FJQ. And then my mystery station that ended in AUJ, I think. We'll pick him up in a minute. KG4IYQ, KZ4 Bravo, John, WB4RK Buddy, WB4NKL Cliff, K1VVC John, N4AK Glenn, WN4PFI, Doak, N4OQ Steve, K3OS Gary, I think. I caught the OS, I think, on the double. Boone, WA4EVK here, WF2U, and Lee, K4VWD. So let me back up first. And who was the station, the prefix of the station that ended in AUJ? Come again.
That must have been me. W4 Alpha United Victor, W4AUV.
Oh, okay. I totally messed that one up. Yeah, I talked to you all on 60, W4AUV. And who did I miss? What were the other stations that doubled up down there?
KJ4YEV.
And W4DCS.
And 4WD.
Okay, let me double check here. I got KJ4YEV, W4DCS, and N4WD. Let me back up. Gary, are you here, K3OS? Carrier, no audio.
I just heard Boone after me.
Okay, well, I heard a Sierra, and I'm pretty sure that was W4DCS, and I don't hear Gary, so we're going to put W4DCS up the line here where I think I copied him, because I heard the S. All right. So here's the order. Write it down. See if you can get the guy before you and the guy after you, so you know when it's your turn and who to send it to at least. LLR, KR, FJQ, AUV, IUQ, 4 Bravo, ARK, NKL, VVC, AK, DFI, LQ, DCS, EVK, 2U, VWD, YEV, and WD. Well, what a group. This W4MEC and the old friends. And I know Brian is not here because he is en route to Gatlinburg. I met him this morning at the Moose Cafe, where I picked up a 28-volt military surplus power supply, 28 volts at 50 amps, and that will come in handy with all the dynamotors I like to run here. And let's see, so let's get started. We're such a long list with Dave, WA4LLR in the group, W4MEC.
All right, Charlie, fine business. W4MEC and the group, WA4LLR. Well, I hate you pulled Gary out of there because we had 20 with him. So now we're at 19, but maybe somebody else will check in. Biggest list I've seen in a while. Good afternoon to everybody. It sure is good to be running Holostate technology again after a month of 25 watts on a Kenwood TS2000. But caught my wife dozing, so very quietly I came down the stairs and fired up the BC610. We've got 47 degrees, overcast and breezy up here in Burnsville, North Carolina. So, Stan, here it comes, old buddy. W4KR, WA4LLR.
All right, Dave. WA4LLR. Boy, it's good to hear you. Good to see you 40 over 9 again. This is W4KR in Wagoner Township, northwest South Carolina. Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening. Beautiful day here. Finally got sunny in the afternoon. Signals are good. Copied everybody. Charlie, I think I heard an S in there too somewhere, but not quite sure. They were coming pretty hot and heavy there at one point. So I tried to keep up tried to keep the list going, but I fell a little bit short there for a bit. Left a whole bunch of vacant spaces and ended up filling them all up. Anyway, I'm going to keep it short because it's going to be a long session today. Glad to hear it. Interesting comments before I turn it over. Interesting comment that the chap over in Toccoa made on online. I expect everybody saw it, about frequencies, and we tried a while ago to see how much interest there was of moving the Tuesday night net down here, either here or 05 or 25, and I guess some folks are fairly set in their ways, and that didn't get a lot of popularity. But anyway, here we are, and thankfully we're down here. WA4FJQ and the old friends group W4KR.
In the group, this is WA4 FJQ Foxtrot Juliet Quebec Tom in High Point. The rig here is the AF68 feeding a Collins 30L1, putting out around 300 watts and receiving on a 75 S3C. Weather here is nice, 59 degrees, mostly cloudy. May get a pretty sunset according to the weatherman. But other than that, not a lot to report or talk about. So since the list is so long, I'm going to turn it over to, let's see, I don't know the name, but it's W4AUV. This is WA4FJQ. Over.
Alrighty then, WA4FJQ and the group W4AUV. Name here is Dale. I spell Delta Alpha Lima Echo, and we are transmitting from deep behind enemy lines in liberal Raleigh, North Carolina. We're running a Kenwood 590 SG, driving a 10-tech 4 Centurion amplifier, pair of 3500Zs. And the antenna is a large linear loaded antenna up about 60 feet at the feed point, fed with some open wire homebrew line. And so that's my story. Steve invited me here. He's been trying to get me to come on for a long time, so here we are. We've had kind of a darkety-dark day today here in Raleigh. Current temperature is sitting at right at 60 degrees. And I'm an old AMer. I used to have several different ways to get on 3885 with that group of people, but all of that old boat anchor gear is out of here. Well, maybe I'll get some more. I don't know. All right, the IUQ station, I didn't get your prefix. This is W4AUV. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Dale. This is KG4IUQ, Mark in Shelby. Everybody's sounding good here. I'm using my multi-LMAC AF68 with the PMR8. I've been doing a lot of experimentation here. Everything's still holding together. Charlie, you sounded very good. Dave is good. Stan, good. Tom, PJQ, very good. Dale, in Raleigh, you're sounding very good. I'm going to turn it over now. I think I've got it. Now, I don't know. I was writing so fast I couldn't even keep up with it. But I think the next one in line here is KZ4B. John, go ahead.
Okay, KG4 IUQ. Mark, this is Kilo Zulu 4 Bravo. Fine business. Copy is excellent all around tonight. It's so nice to have good propagation. It's a bit nippy, although nothing like it's going to be with winter on its way, and very overcast. So I guess we might as well get used to it, because it's going to be colder, not hotter. We are, very quickly I was going to comment, we are going to be listening on a I think it's a PR30 Palstar solid state receiver that we plan on using with our TS-150 when we get it all tied together. So I'm going to pass it on to Buddy. WB4ARK in the group, KZ4B, over.
KZ4B, WB4ARK. Okay, John. Well, today it's overcast here. Been overcast most of the afternoon. And today I'm running a 4400 modulated by a pair of 4125s, and the exciter is a 310B, feeding a horizontal dipole and receiving on the R390. A little bit different from what I've been using before. I haven't had it on in a while, so I thought I'd give it a check out. And I see my grid current is a little bit low. Flake current's a little bit high. So we'll just go with that. Output is very good. So at this point, we'll turn it over to Cliff. WB4NKL, WB4ARK.
WB4ARK, it's WB4NKL. Okay, buddy. Good signal. That 4400's putting some power in there. I got 55 degrees here and overcast all day. I thought they'd call for rain, but never did actually materialize. And it's good to hear Dave back on the big rig, and it's good to hear Doug. I haven't worked him in a while. It's good to hear your voice, Doug. Big group here tonight, so I'll send it on around. Go ahead, John. K1VVC, WB4NKL.
Yeah, very good. Thanks a lot, Cliff. Say hello to everybody. And it is a big group. Great to hear so many stations on. Very little QRM and every signal good. I'm running my usual Johnson Viking 500, listening on a National HRO 60. So I'll pass it right along to Glenn, N4AK from K1VVC.
Okay, John, K1VVC in the group, November 4 Alpha Kilo. Well, I was running late tonight, so I had to cut on a solid state rig. I'm embarrassed to tell you. Just my little Icon 7300 ALS 600. I'm running about 100 watts to inverted V. It's not very high. Temperature over here at sunset is 57 degrees. And remind Boone, I'm still on for the 17th, Tony's at 11:30. And Charlie, if you can make it down, Ray is supposed to come too. So that's at Tony's restaurant at 11:30 on the 17th. So, Dale, nice to meet you. Nice to have you checking in with us. And on the movement, I expect a lot of people do not want to move from 3885 because if they got boat anchors, they might have 3885 crystals running them. And so they may have a problem with a VFO. That's just a thought. Running on down the list. Note to you and such as WN4PFI and 4AK.
N4AK, WN4PFI. Okay, Glenn. Copying everyone here in Suches, including Dave there over in Raleigh. I think maybe the farthest apart of the two. 46 degrees here in Suches. When I got up this morning at 7 o'clock, it was 46 degrees, and it is still 46. It hasn't changed. And we're heading down to about 35 tonight. I like winter. My wife and I like winter, so I guess we're going to have a taste of that the next 3 days. It's supposed to be in the 30s, mid-30s here for the next 3 days. Go ahead and take it. Gives you Steve, N4LQ, WN4PFI.
WN4PFI, N4LQ. Yeah, good to hear you, Doak. Well, it's 58 degrees here in Shelby. Overcast all day long. Last night I was sitting here in the shack at about 11 o'clock p.m. and I heard this tremendous crash and the floor jumped up and I knew something fell somewhere. So I grabbed my flashlight, my headlight, put it on my head and ran out there, and I went all the way around the house. I couldn't find a thing. This morning I went back out, couldn't find anything, and this afternoon I went out there and finally found where a big tree about 50 feet tall that was rotten had fallen. Of course, it went right across the chain link fence and smashed it and landed in the creek. That part's good. The creek part is, but the bottom of it is stuck on the fence. So I'm going to have to get some help and get that thing off. All the boat anchors sound great. Lovely sounding 610 and AF68s and 4-400s. Man, oh man. What more could you ask for? Viking 500s. So I'm running a DX60. Driving the AL 1200 amp, about 250 watts carrier. So great group here today, and it goes to Doug, W4DCS, N4LQ.
Oh, there's the K9 group right on schedule. Good evening, fellas. W4DCS, Winston-Salem. Yeah, you need an ART-13, and here one is. Listening on my SDR, which I like because you can open it up and hear the beautiful AM signals, and I have an automatic muting circuit that makes it convenient. It's just an RF detector into a microcontroller with some code in it. Plug it into the USB port on the PC, and knows it when it sees an AM signal. That's kind of neat. Anyway, haven't been on in a while. A couple stations in here I haven't heard lately, and nice to hear all you guys. So anyways, I'm gonna try to get on in the morning too for the Over the Hill gang. So we won't hold it. We'll keep it going. KJ4EVK, Boone, here you go, W4DCS.
W4DCS in the group, WA4EVK. Uh-oh, I guess turning the linear on might help a little bit. Oh well, let's see if anybody can hear me. I lost the linear here somewhere. Not sure what's going on with that. And I'm going to hand it on down to Demir, WF2U, WA4EVK.
Yeah, Roger. WA4EVK and the group. This is WF2U. Well, good evening, everyone. And signals are, most of them are good. Some stations sometimes disappear a little bit under under QSB, but 100% copy of everybody. I'm not going to give individual reports because it's going to take a long time. Anyway, I've been well, first I'm using the good old standby Yaesu station with a Yaesu hybrid transmitter, the FT101, sorry, the FL101, and the receiver is an FR101, which is all solid state, about early to mid-1980s, and the 25 watts from the transmitter on AM is driving the Yaesu FL2100B and getting about 300 watts, 325 watts peak out. The antenna is an 80 meter end fed, about 50 feet. And Steve, I can sympathize with you because for almost, almost 10 days, I've been working cleaning up, me and the XYL, a huge purple crabtree that was providing our deck with shade. Completely, one evening I heard a huge crash, and I took down the gutter on the backside of my garage and completely blocked the pathway to the deck from outside. And luckily it didn't touch the deck or anything, except, as I said, for the garage wall. But it also crushed my XYL's beloved potting table and various items of shelving around it and pots and whatnot. So it took me days of work to chainsaw everything up and pile it up. I already took like 6 loads with my front loader, and the stupid insurance company is still kind of chasing each other there, all the personnel, because one is on vacation, the other one is covering. They don't know what's going on. My insurance agent is not very communicative with them, and it's the first time that they've been really screwing up. I was, for over about 23 years, I've been very happy with them, but now I'm just about fed up. Anyway, so enough of complaining. The weather here is overcast. It actually drizzled a little bit earlier, and it's been sitting around just about between 57 and 60 degrees the whole day. So with that, I think it goes to KJ4YEV. So if I'm mistaken, just whoever it goes to pick it up. So go ahead, this is W after you.
This is K4VWD. I think it's my turn. Let me stand by and make sure I got it.
We sure is, Lee.
Okay, yeah, I pass it to Al. This is K4VWD, Lee, Lima Echo Alpha, Greenville, South Carolina, where it's 57 degrees, heavy overcast, and buddy, my hummingbirds are gone. I looked yesterday, looked all day today, no hummingbirds. So I guess they're gone. Boy, David, sure good to hear you. I'm glad you got back to your old rig. So, Al, here she comes. KJ4YEV. This is K4VWD.
K4VWD in the group. Thank you, Lee. This is KJ4YEV. And Steve, I enjoyed that QSO with you and Lyle last night. That was a lot of fun. I have backed off on my audio, so I would be curious to know if that cleaned it up any. You might want to comment on that next time around. And I'll hit going. It goes to Doug, W4DCS. This is KJ4YEV. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm still here. Charlie, you there?
Got it. I knew he'd quit, but I didn't know if he turned it over to me. N4WD. It's 57 degrees overcast and windy. Winds gust up to 12 miles an hour off and on all day. Been nice other than that. No solar eclipse yesterday. Too many clouds. And I'm gonna say 73s. I'll probably be listening, but the wife has cooked a roast, and she says it's ready, and I ain't gonna miss out on it. I'm sorry, gentlemen, just not gonna do it. So W4MEC, N4WD, true.
Very good, N4WD. Enjoy the meal, and thanks for checking in with us. We'll look for you later on. It's W4MEC and the Old Friends Net. Who else do we have that would like to join us? Come now. Nothing heard. So, very good. That was a good first round, fellas. And it's about 51 here, windy and overcast. And been gusting pretty good. I don't know what, but been flipping and flopping the tarp over my RV, my trailer, so I probably need to tie down a little bit more on that. And my rig here is a Heathkit Apache for transmitter, Heathkit Mohawk receiver feeding a Heathkit tuner to 450 ohm window line to an 80 meter dipole, about, I don't know, about 70 plus about 120 feet of window line or so between here and the shack and there. So everybody, good signals here, been running with the gains pretty much. The IF gain at 0 and the RF gain at about 10 o'clock on the Mohawk, so don't need much gain except for Glenn. Glenn was a little light, so. And Boone was too. You know, the amp did not come online when you kicked it in there. So let's see. Glenn, on the lunch, you said 10:17, which is a Tuesday, and then I think you said Thursday. So need clarification on that, because if it's on Tuesday, I cannot make it. I've got grandkid duty, so I won't be able to make it Tuesday. So maybe next time. But if it's just a date thing, I might be able to make Thursday. So, all right. So I'm not going to keep it here. Big group. Let's go back around. Let's see what we got here. Well, it took us about 30 minutes for that one. So let's go around at least one more time. WA4LLR in the group. W4MEC.
W4MEC and the group. WA4LLR. 7-3, Bruce. Have a good supper. Dale, welcome to the group. Good to hear you. Got a great sounding signal from Raleigh. And Doug, sure is good to hear you again. Looking forward to hearing you on the Over the Hill gang. Let's see the strong signals here. Buddy, Cliff, and Charlie all have the meter pegged on this HQ 150. So you guys are the champions tonight. And Steve, sorry about the tree coming down and crushing your chain link fence. Mir, sorry you've been dealing with the tree down as well. We had some pretty high wind here last night, but it took a few smaller limbs out, but that was about the size of it. As far as our space weather, I enjoyed some views of the annular eclipse yesterday between clouds. And that was nice. And let's see, today our sunspot count's 100, solar flux index is 148, and the K is 1. A few items from this day in history. On this day in 1959, the final conference of the Antarctic Treaty was signed, preserving the continent for scientific research only. On this day in 2018, Paul Allen, who was co-founder of Microsoft, passed away. On this day in 1951, the first episode of I Love Lucy aired. On this day in 1928, the Graf Zeppelin landed in Lakehurst, New Jersey, completing its first transatlantic trip. And on this day in 1917, Dutch dancer Mata Hari was executed by the French near Paris, charged with spying for Germany in World War I. So that's a few things from this day in history. So, down to you, Stan. W4KR and the net, WA4LLR.
Okay, Dave. WA4LLR, W4KR. Okay, I didn't mention it before, but I'm on the Viking 2 this afternoon. Viking 2, NC303. Antenna's a dipole, 100 feet up, about 80 feet at the ends, and it's coax fed, which I have to get up there and replace one of these days before wintertime comes. I think I mentioned that the other day. I think I also mentioned or intended to mention, I don't know if I did or not, I'm looking for a pair of coils for an HRO 60. I need a B and a C coil, a Bravo and a Charlie coil for a HRO 60. And that's really about it. I'm going to turn it on. I copied everybody. Just great signal. Oh, I'm sorry. The one other thing I wanted to mention, buddy, the audio coming out of that 4400 of yours is just beautiful. Just sounds beautiful. Wonder which mic you've got on that, because it's just super good. Let's see. With that, on it goes. Gee whiz, I can't read the whole wording. WA4FJQ. I'm sorry, go ahead. W4KR.
WA4FJQ. Okay, Stan, thanks for turning it over. I'm copying everybody very well. Glenn N4AK was pretty weak. I couldn't make much of that transmission, but everybody else is doing really well. Very nice band conditions tonight. The only thing to report is that Charlie put out a notice to everybody on the net, I guess, about a Barker & Williamson 5100B with a single sideband adapter that was, if anyone was interested in buying it. And George Neal, K4 GDN, worked out a deal with Grady Stone, WA4 JYK, and I'll be hauling that radio down to the coast. George is in South Myrtle Beach, and we got a little place up in Holden. So in the next couple of weeks, we'll have to lug that thing out of the attic and load it up in the truck and get it on down to the coast. So at any rate, and that's all I got to report from here. Let's see. Turn it over to Dale. Dale, your signal is excellent. It's like you're sitting right here in the shack. So turn it to W4AUV. This is WA4FJQ.
Alrighty then, WA4FJQ and the group, and the large group, W4AUV. Well, thank you for the compliment, and please forgive me for running a rice box. Father, forgive me, for I know not what I do. Anyway, I had to do a little diddling. I think I've got it so it can pretty much fake being a real AM transmitter, but I'm looking at the scope here, and Steve suggested I put a little more highs in it earlier before the net started, so that's what we did. And right away I noticed it was creating quite a different presentation on the scope. And hello to Mir. I haven't talked to you for a long time. Last time we talked was up on the top band. So this afternoon I had a little project here. I had given an end-fed half-wave to a friend of mine, N4IZE, and that was given to me also by Steve, but that quit working, so he bought a new one, and it had that N4LQ modification about halfway up the 80-meter half-wave with the capacitor to make it tune better up in the phone band on 75. So there was some funky weirdness with that. It wasn't loading up on any of the bands properly. So I took that out of the circuit and just tied the wires back together, soldered it, put some heat shrink, pulled it back up in the tree. Now it works great. So that was my project for this afternoon. So it's good to be on here with all of you. I hope this thing sounds all right. The antenna, if you're interested in the antenna, I have a photograph and an electrical diagram of this antenna on my QRZ page. Okay, so whose turn is it next? KE4IUQ, I believe. Mark takes it, W4AUV.
Thank you very much. This is Mark, KG4IUQ. Everybody's sounding good. There was a light signal in there. I think it was Glen and Sunset. But I'm hearing everybody. Last time on the last Sunday, I was saying that Steve, I was hearing some kind of pitch, possibly in his signal, and I was hearing it in everybody's, but what it's turned out to be is, I've been experimenting, trying to get a DDS VFO working so that I can control the signal on the transmitter through the crystal socket, and I just discovered that what they call the RIT, or receive incremental tuning, it will only allow 3 kilohertz of a difference when it switches to frequency. So that's what was happening, and I figured out that it's really not good enough. But I can use a VFO, switch VFO, and that's interesting that the VFO difference can be like 30 kilohertz, so that's what I'm doing. It's nice to be on the net. I'm going to ask Steve. Steve, just briefly, can you explain what you mean by pinch? You were talking about like a output coming out of a VFO, you can pinch it off or something like that. Just briefly tell me what you were talking about in the past. I'm going to turn it over now to KZ4B. This is KG4IUQ.
Okay, KG4IUQ and the group KZ4B. Fine business, Mark. Conditions are indeed very good tonight. Not having any trouble hearing anybody hardly. Dale, welcome to the group. You and I used to work several years back, I think. If I remember correctly, you were, or maybe still are, in the boat brokering business. If I am all wet, straighten me out, but that sticks in my mind. And that would confirm that you are the Dale that I'm thinking about. Shifting gears, I do have the R30, PR30 receiver working, and you guys sound better on it than on the Eagle Vision that I'm listening to you on and transmitting to you with via a Titan 1 amplifier, lightly driven, and this particular rig is going to a resonant, well, it's not resonant really, it's a G5RV cut for 160 meters. It's 200 feet long end to end, and going via a AT5K antenna tuner. So that's the setup, but I am working on putting the T150 on and using the PalStar receiver, and I think it's going to work out real well. And so that's what's cooking, and so I'm going to pass it on over to Buddy. And you're coming in good as usual. WB4ARK in the group, KZ4B, over.
KZ4B, WB4ARK. Okay, John. Got a very good signal here tonight into the Lake Wylie area. And a couple of comments. Sorry to hear about your mess there, Mir. Tree falling down on your fence can be, or your gutter and so forth, can be quite a bit of a tragic experience in having to haul that stuff off. Lee, my hummingbirds left, I think, probably 2 days ago, and so that's the deal there. And on the microphone stand, I'm using a non-amplified D104. This speech amp with the 4125s was a design that I built, and I really appreciate your comment about the audio. I've had a few comments about it, and they've all been good. I guess I did a pretty good job of building it, and I really appreciate your acknowledging that. Let's see what else we got here. Well, in the interest of not keeping it too long today, because there's so many on the net, I think I will pass it on. But I'd like to tell Charlie thanks for doing the net, and really appreciate everyone being on here tonight. And Doug, certainly do miss you on the old friends group at 9 o'clock. I haven't heard you on there in quite some time now, so maybe we could hear you sometime in the future. So with that, we'll say 73, and everybody have a great evening. So over to WB4NKL. This is WB4ARK.
WB4ARK, it's WB4NKL. You know, I'll second what Stan was saying about the audio. It sounds real good, buddy. Homebrew transmitters doing a fine job for you. I'm going to say 73 is too big group in here, and time it gets back around, it's going to be, probably won't get a second time around, it'll be our third time around, so enjoy it. Copied everybody 100%, even Glenn was coming in pretty good. So, thanks for calling it, Charlie, and we'll try to catch everybody Tuesday. Go ahead, John, K1VVC, it's WB4NKL.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Cliff. WB4NKL, K1VVC. Charlie, great job on calling the net. And Dave, really good to see you back on from the basement. I hope Ravina let you upstairs. It's been a nice net tonight. I don't have really much to say, except everybody stay healthy, and we'll try and get on next week. So, Glenn, over to you. N4AK, K1VVC.
November 4 Alpha Kilo. And Charlie, clarify, I'm going to meet this Tuesday, that's the 17th at 11:30 a.m. And Stan, if you're welcome also. Ray was going to drive up and spend a few days here in Pickens, and that's why we're working around his schedule. So again, that's Tuesday, 11:30 at Tony's. So, Boone, I hope you can still make it. If there's any last-minute changes, I'll call you. But that was the last from Ray. And Charlie, thanks for doing the net tonight. It's been nice. Such a nice, large group in here. Dope, down to you to suches. WN4PFI, N4AK.
N4AK, WN4PFI returning. Okay, thank you, Glenn. Just a couple of things here, and I'll pass it on to Steve. My wife and I wasn't here last Sunday to check into the net. It's about the only day that I can get a chance to do that. But we had to go down to Livonia. Some of you know where Livonia is. We had a great-grandchild born. It's a daughter named Emmy, great-granddaughter, and that's our first great-grandchild that we were able to have, and looking forward to being able to spend some time with her, hopefully in the near future. Steve, I saw a email you sent maybe a year ago about using a power transformer out of a television, an old TV set. But I was looking through a Hints and Kinks book from 1959 this week, and I ran into that little write-up. It's got a diagram here with it, where he uses television power transformer and an old photograph audio amplifier with a microphone preamplifier stage built in that. But I've got a schematic here. If anybody's interested, I'd be glad to post it on an email if you need it. Kind of interesting to see that, but I did go back and find your email, Steve, from maybe a year ago. I'll be getting out here too. This will be my last one. I will listen to the end though. Good to hear everybody on, and copying everybody here just fine today. 73s, have a good week, and look forward to being back here on next Sunday. Go ahead and take a seat. N4LQ, this is WN4 PFI.
This is N4LQ. Okay, Doak. You got a better memory than I have. But I don't remember that, but I'm sure it happened. And Mark, I don't have any idea what I was talking about. Pinching off a VFO sounds like a good idea, but I'm not sure how how that was brought up. I know back in the old days when we could hear our VFOs when operating CW, we called it backwave, and it was definitely a problem, and we had to figure out some way to key the VFO so we didn't hear it. And that's probably what you're thinking of. But with AM, of course, just a matter of figuring out some way to turn it off. And unfortunately, with a DDS VFO with a brain in it, it takes too long to boot up. So shielding may be the only way to keep it out of there, or some people have had luck by running it through an amplifier and then turning the amplifier off and on. And yeah, Doak, I love reading the old manuals. I was reading through a 1937 ARRL antenna manual, and that is the first mention I can find of in the handbook about coax cable even existing, and back then it was basically plumbing, and of course I guess it still is to some degree, but it was rigid copper pipe, and you ran a stiff wire through it, and spacing was accomplished with beads, and they crimped on each side of the bead to keep the bead from sliding around, and that's how they made lower loss, low impedance line. And so there you go. Oh, this is the third time that my fence has been crushed by trees, so I am convinced, like trailers attract tornadoes, I think fences attract tall trees. And Mir, I saw the pictures of your tree. That's a shame. Sorry you got the damage there. Fortunately, I knew this thing was dead, and someday it was going to come down. And I knew if I tried to cut it, it would probably land on the house. So I let nature take its course, and unfortunately it went the other way. So Doug, over to you, W4DCS, N4LQ.
Yeah, N4LQ in the group, W4DCS. Okay, Steve, sorry about the fence. Yeah, I've had 3 trees come down in 5 years. 1 fell in the front, 2 fell in the neighbor's yard, and fortunately none of them hit my antenna, which is strung up over trees, so thankful for that. And everybody coming in here really well into Winston-Salem tonight. Good to hear you guys. I'm going to say 73, and Charlie, thanks for calling. KJ4EBK, W4DCS. I think Boone Bell, I had a good copy on him.
I couldn't quite hear him. Did he turn over to?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Got the linear working again. I actually had been up on 10 meters working AM up there for the last couple of days, and somehow or another, when I moved everything around again, I got the linear disconnected. Glenn, I could not quite copy your words there about the lunch meeting. I can go either day. I'll catch up with you tomorrow, and we can settle that one. And I'm going to get out of here. We got a long list, and say 73 to everybody. And Steve, if you're going to be around 8, we can try somewhere around this frequency if you want, to the 160. Kind of up to you. WA4EVK is clear.
Okay, it goes to me or WF2U.
Okay, very good. This is WF2U and the group. Yeah, Roger. Good copy in this round. And oh yeah, and I forgot to tell Dale W4AUV that I'm glad to hear you here. And on AM of all things, but you have a good signal. Everybody has a good signal, and it's nice to see that many people, or rather hear that many people checking in. Anyway, yeah, Steve. So chopping it up is not a big. Well, you know, it's a little backache and everything. Tomorrow I have my chiropractic session, but I'm not very happy about maybe having to haul it out myself. But that's what I want the insurance to pay. I tried to get them in and have them take care of the whole thing, but it's ridiculous. Nobody's available. What else is here? So I was not very active on the radio. Yesterday, actually last night I was on 160, and I spoke to somebody who checked in before there, and I had a nice conversation. But so anyway, it would be a good time to say 73 to everybody because it's getting late. Yeah, there is definitely not going to be another round. So thanks, Charlie, for running the net, and I would say thanks everybody who checked in. Made the net tonight pretty nice, busy, and conditions were pretty decent. So with that, 73 all, have a nice week, and it goes to Lee, K4VWD. You had by the way, you have a tremendous signal. You're one of the strongest stations here with 20 plus over 9. So pick it up, Lee. This is WF2U 730.
Thank you, Lee. WF2U K4VWD. Well, I'm running 40 watts to my dipole. My dipole's 139 feet long. Fed with ladder line going through a 10-tech tuner. So 40 watts out with this EF68. And by the way, for everybody, for your future planning, the next luncheon is November the 2nd. That's the first Thursday in November. So we'll be in Spartanburg for lunch on November the 2nd. And buddy, your rig, that homebrew rig, really sounds good. I am glad I got to hear it. Thank you for having it on. And thank you, Charlie, for doing the net. I appreciate it. I'll say 7-3, God bless. And I look forward to talking to everybody on Tuesday. So, Al, here she comes. KJ4YEB. This is K4VWD. So long.
K4BWD, thanks Lee. This is KJ4YEV. I don't know if I mentioned it last Sunday or not, but I'm cleaning up a heck of a mess down at my shop here in Gastonia. We had a pipe burst in the ceiling, and I came in there to find the place flooded, wet insulation and sheetrock all over the place. I'm really fortunate that they did not come down on my workbench. I've got a carpeted workbench, plus equipment, and at least all that, thankfully, but still just a big mess to clean up, so that's what I've been doing here. It's been a good mess today, a lot of pop-ins. I've enjoyed hearing all these good AM signals, so I know I flubbed up the order last time around. I sent it to Doug, but it's supposed to go to Bruce, but I think he may have signed. But Bruce, if you're still in here, N4WD, take it away. This is KJ4YEV, and if Bruce is gone, I guess Charlie can pick it up. So KJ73R, KJ4YEV.
Yeah, he checked out to go eat. So KJ4YEV in the group, W4MEC. Well, real good. And sorry to hear about everybody's trees. I had, of course, had to deal with that issue here. And like Mir, I had an awful time with my insurance company, State Farm. And cost me a lot of money that State Farm did not cover, so I'm not happy about that. That's the reason they got $300 billion in the bank. They don't give it away. So anyway, we've got several here that hadn't officially checked out with the 73, so we'll do a quick 73 round. I see Dave, I think Stan, Tom, Dale, and let's see, John, Mark, and Glenn, and Steve were all left, in Mir. I'm not sure he checked out on the last go round. Anyway, we'll do a quick 73 round for anybody that's left. WA4LLR in the group, W4MEC.
All right, Charlie. W4MEC and the group, WA4LLR. Well, great. Nice group. 19 tonight. And certainly enjoyed getting back on with some power. Thanks for calling the net, 7-3. God bless everybody. Have a great rest of the weekend. And those of you that like winter, enjoy the cool weather. So, Lord willing, we'll look for you on Tuesday morning. W4KR, WA4LLR.
Okay, Dave, WA4LLR, W4KR. Well, 7-3s, everybody. Got two questions to throw out. First, Buddy, to you, and pick it up on your transmission. I'll wait. I'll be hanging around. I think I detect in the audio. I think I detect a nice little bump somewhere between the 12 and 2K range, somewhere right in there, 2500 maybe. And I wonder what if you recall in your speech amp what size the grid leak resistor is in the first stage. I want to guess and say it's probably about 2 megs. I'm just curious. Other question I had is Glenn, for you. That's okay. I may have to take a real early morning trip over to Clemson, but that won't get in the way. I'll be in and out of there in a half an hour. I think Joan may need to go over to have a blood draw for an exam she's having the end of the week. And the other question, Glenn, is where is Tony's? Is it there around Sunset? With that, off we go. WA4FJQ. 7-3s, everybody. Good night. God bless. W4KR.
W4KR is WA4FJQ. Okay, Stan, thanks. Yeah, well, 73s to everybody. It was nice to hear the group and not have to strain to figure out what was going on. The band conditions are really good. And I'm finally getting to the point where I can copy everybody's call, so I'm catching up slowly. Anyway, thanks, Charlie, for calling the net. Great job as usual. And we'll say 73s and turn it over to Dale, W4AUV.
Alrighty then, WA4FJQ and various sundry. This is W4AUV. Very good. I've certainly enjoyed it. I've been kind of diddling with the computer, looking at places in the country to buy. I want to kind of get out of this getting more congested every day location in North Raleigh, North Carolina. And KZ4B, John, yes, that was me with the boat business. But you might ask the question, what is an engineer doing in the boat business? Well, I got tired of writing software, so I got out of that quite some time ago, and I went to work as a field engineer for EchoStar, which turned into Dish TV, and I worked there for about 10 years, and then I retired from that, and I'm currently retired. I'm socially insecure and on Metascare, but I work part-time at a local 100-kilowatt FM station here in the area, WCPE. I do engineering work for them and IT work. So yes, John, that was me, the boat guy. All right, 73 to everybody. KG4IUQ, I believe, takes it. W4AUV.
Thank you very much. This is KG4IUQ. Been a good net. Thank you, Charlie, MEC, for the fine net. God bless everybody, and I'll say 73. I guess John, KZ4B, is next, if he's still on here. Go ahead.
John, KZ4B, you still with us? Nope, how about Glenn, N4AK?
Yeah. And Stan, W4KR, take this address down for your GPS. 704 West Main Street, Pickens, 29671. Did you get that? Over.
Roger, Glenn. Thank you.
Roger, look forward to seeing you. N4AK, back to net.
Okie dokie. N4LQ, you with us?
Oh yeah, still here. Can't get rid of me that easy. N4LQ, and I'll say 73s to everybody. Maybe see you late tonight, after hours, sometime, 9, 10 o'clock, something like that, around here somewhere. Just tune around. The 3885 is usually too busy. So, and Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. 73 is N4LQ and Mir, WF2U. You still here? Go ahead. Guess not.
Okay, fellas. Thanks again for everybody that checked in. Great net today. And we'll look for you on Tuesday morning. 73 is W4MEC, shutting down the old Friends Net. Bye-bye.
Good job, Charlie. Thanks much. Take care.
KZ4 Bravo, are you still here? W4AUV. I guess not. Well, I answered his question. Maybe he didn't hear my answer. W4AUV. W4AUV, this is KZ4B. Are you still around, Dale? Guess not. KZ4B clear. Yes, I'm still here. Go ahead there, John.
Okay, I was listening on the PR30 and it was manually selected, which meant that I couldn't run my transmitter, so I manually turned it back. Go ahead. You had a question or something? Over.
Well, I wanted to know if you heard me answer your question. Over.
Roger, I sure did. You are you. And that's wonderful. That shows that my memory's not completely destroyed. And I understand. I'm an engineer too, and unfortunately for me, I spent my whole career as an engineer, and now I kick myself. I probably should have been an electrical contractor, because I've got an unlimited electrical contractor's license, and I used it, under the companies that I worked for, but I never went out on my own. And probably the biggest mistake I made in my whole career. But living on Lake Norman, I'm big into boats, and although I'm boat shy at the moment. My son just moved to Myrtle Beach, and on the inland waterway, so we all have webbed hands and feet in this family and have to be near water and have a boat available. So mostly jet skis here lately. But anyway, good hearing your voice, and we talked a lot some years back, and I remembered that. Good luck on finding a place in the country. I was in the, now I'm in a neighborhood, and they're building high-rise apartments, all not in my neighborhood, but all around it. You just can't get away from it. I feel like Daniel Boone. I need to go west or something. But anyway, good hearing your voice. W4. Let's see. I got you down here. AUV. And I guess that means that you started out as a general and never were a novice. You might straighten me out on that. KZ4B, clear but listening.
All right, KZ4B, and we'd like to take this opportunity to say hello to all the shortwave listeners out there, and hello to all the ships at sea. This is W4AUV. Well, I never was a general. I was a novice in 1971. It expired for a short period of time, and then I took the general and advanced test both at the same sitting at the FCC office in New York City. They told me I aced the general. I took the advanced. I passed that. They didn't tell me, and I didn't care either. I was on cloud 9 by then. Then in 1978, I went to the FCC office in Chicago, Illinois, and took the extras. So that was my history there. So what else was I going to tell you? I guess that's about it. Yes, I remember. A lot of that memory is coming back to me. And when we were talking before, that was on my Heathkit Apache transmitter that I had, with a completely rebuilt audio chain. So, and I used that with a D104. All right, John. Maybe we'll talk again soon. KZ4 Bravo. Have a good evening. W4AUV.
Fine business, Dale. I remember your unscratchy Apache. It sounded real good, and to be commended. I'm trying to put a BTA 1R1 RCA broadcast transmitter on it. I've been working on it for years, and it may take years more, although I'm sure at 78 I'm running out of time. But hopefully I'll have that on sometime. But anyway, I'll let you run, and but it was good to hear your voice. It's kind of distinctive, and I sort of missed it because I kind of wonder, well, what's AUV up to these days? Well, you answered that question. Good luck on the hunt for a place in the country. KZ4, be clear with you.
Yeah, John, I got rid of all of the AM equipment out of the shack. I had over 1,000 pounds of it in here, and it's all gone. I'll see you later, including an R390. KZ4B, W4AUV, 73.
Roger. pressure. I had two R390s and I let both of them slide. Good receivers, but if I can't lift it, I don't need it, although I still have some boat anchor stuff. And, but you know how that goes. Takes time to ship